So other risks that we may be facing when it comes to our mobile devices is, of course, the classic, hey, someone stole my actual device, and also man in the middle attack. So remember that man in the middle is sniffing of the network, right? We're using Wireshark to look at the network going back and forth. And our cell phones are just like laptops. They actually communicate on the network going back and forth. So they can see that type of traffic. And we need to be mindful of that. So not necessarily, I don't want you guys to think that you need to use a VPN on your phone all the time, but just be mindful of if you're opening up your browser on your phone and you're going to a unsecure site and you're doing a transaction of some sort, then someone can see that. Okay. So I don't want you to think that, hey, if someone's out here with a Wireshark and then I'm doing a texting back and forth, someone can see that. No, I'm more talking about doing transactions in a browser, doing laptop activities on your mobile devices, and then, someone looking at the traffic in that sense. Okay. So stolen devices, I want to jump back on that. Later on in the slides, I'll talk about how can we move on from our stolen devices. What should we be doing on a daily basis, just in case we actually lose or someone takes our phone? How do we get that information back? In most cases, you just gotta, bite the bullet on it and charge it, and just say, hey, I lost that information, but it's backed up here. So whenever I get my new phone, then I could just take all the information off the cloud and transfer it to my new phone. Okay. Now, if we put some security things into play, hopefully they should not be able to look at that information on that phone. They could just have the actual physical phone, but they should not be able to get into the hardware. I mean, the software. Excuse me. So we also want to make sure that we are understanding that public networks, when we go to our Starbucks or we go to that hotel and we're connecting to a public network, that it could be uh, vulnerable to certain type of people looking at that traffic. So we just want to keep those things in mind as well. Going to GPS. So yeah, what goes into GPS and how these mobile devices can actually track you. A lot of times we have GPS turned on our phones and we don't really know that we have it turned on. So I wanted to show you exactly what I mean by that is that if you guys came into the room early, you seen that I was playing around with my Google account, and I was here on Google Maps. And if you go down to, let me show you how to get there. So if you go and you're looking at Google Maps, right? And if you go over to the three lines over here, which is more likely your menu, and you drop that or bring that out, then you can see where Google has been tracking me per se. Um, and I think they've been tracking me since 2009, from what I've seen. But as you can see here, I clicked on timeline, and then it shows all the places that I pretty much been going at uh, since I think since the time they've been tracking me. Like I said, 2009, um, which is crazy, right? But these are places where I probably had some type of cell phone on me, and it checked into Google to update my location. Okay, and they're it's convenient to a certain extent, but then it's kind of creepy to where Google doesn't really put this in bold print for you to actually see. So it's kind of scary at the same time that someone is actually looking at the 289 places that I have visited. Let's see, the place I visited the most is, of course, my home, right? And then it got here at Cherry Park. I love to go to Cherry Park during my lunch breaks and take a walk.